Yeah, I'm laying down because I'm tired. But I wanted to get this video out as soon as possible so we can move on to the next subject. So, the topic was anxiety and depression. So, let me start off with how I found out. I used to work in memory care, and anybody that work in memory care, y'all know that's a tough field to be in. But let me tell y'all, it wasn't until like the end of the year I started working there, like January or February maybe. It wasn't until around November that I basically had a panic attack or a nervous breakdown, is what the doctor said. The doctor said that I had a nervous breakdown, and that basically that nervous breakdown came from built up anxiety and depression. Now, let me tell y'all how we got to that. For those who don't know, um, I grew up in a very traumatized, well, I can't say household. I had a very traumatizing childhood. Let's say that, okay? Very traumatizing childhood. And I had a lot of things happen to me that as a child that should not have happened, okay? So, before I get in my feelings, let me go ahead and try to push the story. Um, I was, it was probably like maybe a week. It was a couple of weeks before my birthday. I had talked to my supervisor. I wanted to take a couple of days off for my birthday. And my birthday is hard for me. I don't know if I told y'all or if anybody ever know that my birthday is hard for me because my birthday always typically fall on Thanksgiving or right before Thanksgiving or right after Thanksgiving. So my birthday is November 28th. Yes, I'm a Sagittarius. And so a lot of times growing up, I don't I don't remember having good birthdays. Well, I don't remember a lot of my birthdays. And I don't remember my birthdays. I don't know if it's because I blocked them out or if I just didn't have any. Like, so my birthday is always a really hard time for me because I can never get people to do stuff with me. They always say, "Oh, I have family coming in," or um, I got this cousin in from out of town, or we planning to do something with the family, and I didn't grow up with my biological family. I grew up with so we had a guardian that took guardianship of me and my two sisters. Um, if you ask me, I would have preferred to stay with my mom, regardless of what condition she was in. Um, that's a story for a different day. But my mom wanted to go take care of my grandmother because I guess she had got sick or, some stuff was going on with her. I don't know the whole story. So my older sister asked my mom to leave us with her. And at the time, she was staying with a neighbor. So this neighbor, her name is Tina, she took on guardianship of us. While living in her house, I don't ever remember feeling loved. I was never hugged. I was never told that I was loved by nobody in the family. Um, Her boys probably did at some point, but they were older. But I'm talking about the adults. I don't remember having birthdays that was enjoyable to me at all. So back in 2020, I started working in memory care. And during this time of working in memory care, COVID hit. And it was like maybe September, October, COVID hit. So by November, we had already started seeing deaths and people passing away. Um, when I first started working there, we had about maybe a good 40 some people living in there. Um, it was mixed because we did have another um, facility come with their residents to live in ours. So at some point, we had a lot of people. Well, um, a couple of weeks before my birthday, I was trying to make plans. I think this particular year I wanted to go to Vegas, and I was going to drive from Texas to Vegas. If you want to know a secret about me, I've never been on an airplane. So I've never been out the country. And if I can't drive there, I'm not going there. I have a phobia of being in a car with people. And I just realized recently that I get motion sickness in a car with other people. Like when other people are driving, I get motion sickness. So a lot goes on with me. And I think it stems around me not having control or whatever. But I had made plans I was going to go to Vegas. Um, I ended up canceling my plans because the company changed the way they were paying us. So instead of us getting paid every 2 weeks, we were going to get paid, like, I think on the 1st and the 15th, or the 10th and the 25th, something like that. It was one of those things. It was like a 15-day pay period. And so around this time, it was going to mess up my plans to go out of town. Like I wasn't going to be able to have the money that I thought I would have because the money wasn't going to come until I was already there. And I'm just not one of them people to depend on that money to be there once I get there, because if I leave and I go there and then the money isn't there when I get there, then I done drove all these damn miles to go somewhere that I can't even enjoy. And so it didn't make sense to me. I didn't want to do it. I even paid for my hotel room. My hotel room was paid for. The money that I was going to have was my spending money and part of my gas money. I had already had money put to the side for gas or road trip money. I could say that. But I wasn't going to have pocket money, money to buy stuff when I see it or whatever. And so, yeah, I canceled my trip. And this was a couple of weeks before my birthday. So this had to be like the beginning of November. And I came home the day after they told us about the pay change or whatever. And I noticed that I wasn't happy about it. Like I knew it was gonna mess up my plans for my birthday. And I felt like, how can this be happening to me again? Like this has been going on for years. And I never had a good birthday that I can remember and enjoy. I do remember one birthday. My sister threw me a birthday party. I believe it was at her house. And but that was the one, okay? So, um at this age, I just wanted to do something that I never did before, and I had never been to Vegas, so I wanted to go. And when I got home, I was upset, but I guess I didn't show I was upset. Like I don't know how to describe it. I wasn't happy. Anywho, I went to sleep that night. I cried myself to sleep. I woke up and I woke up crying. And I went to work. And I had to take a 15-minute break. Like within the first couple of hours of working. Okay. Within the first 15, 20 minutes of working, maybe, I mean, not the first 15, 20 minutes, but the first couple of hours of working, I had to take a 15, 20-minute break because for some reason my emotions were high, my feelings were like all over the place, and I couldn't focus on anything. And I started to cry. And I went into the bathroom and I cried in the bathroom. And I cried for about a good 5 to 10 minutes. Now, working in memory care, I was not a caregiver. I was supposed to be the bus driver. I took on this job because I wanted to drive buses, and I had my CDLs for passenger endorsement, and I was looking for a bus driving job so I could just drive. But when I got to the facility, I literally worked 1 week and COVID hit, and we shut down the place, and I was no longer a driver. I became one of the activity people, and so basically I came to work every day and I did activities with these people. The first thing I would do when I come in the mornings is feed the bird, change out the bird cage paper. I would feed the fish, and then I would jump on. We had hot towels with essential oils on them that we would put in like a towel warmer, and that's what we would clean the residents' hands with after they got done eating breakfast. So I would put them in a warmer. I would start helping um, feeding if somebody needed fed, doing hair if they hair needed to be done. We would clean their hands up with the towels and stuff, and we had activities. We worked out, watched movies. We got very creative. We did a lot of different stuff with these people. Um, but this particular day, it's a little foggy, but I remember sitting in the bathroom crying for at least 10 minutes. And I think I told one of my coworkers, like, my stomach wasn't feeling good, and that, like, that's why I had to keep going to the bathroom. And so that was my excuse. By this time, I had no idea why I was crying. I was getting ready to go home, and I was driving home, and I was crying driving. A song came on, something I don't know what it was, and I started crying. I cleared up my face, put on my big girl panties, came in the house, and I started parenting because I have 3 kids. Um, Later on that night when I went to bed, I was crying. I woke up in the middle of the night crying. Woke up that morning crying. And this went on uncontrollably crying, full of emotions, feelings all over the place for at least 2 weeks. And it got to the point where I couldn't hide it anymore. And people started to see it on my face. Like they were like, "What's wrong? Are you okay? You okay? What's wrong?" And so at this point, you could ask me, "Am I okay? What's wrong?" I would say, "Oh, I'm fine," you know. But by this time, I I couldn't even respond. I would just burst out crying. If you had to ask me how I was doing, is everything okay? I started crying, like because my feelings and my emotions were so overwhelmed. I remember coming to work, and I was early. I sat in my car. I cried. I was like, maybe if I just sit here and cry and get it out, I can go in here and have a good day. I went in, and the feelings kept rising up. And I went to my supervisor, and by this time, I thought I had figured out what was wrong. Wait. By this time, I thought I had figured out what was wrong, and I didn't. I thought maybe because I was working in memory care that and COVID hit and that people were passing away, I figured that was like what was wrong with me. I was overwhelmed with the deaths, and that maybe that's what it was. But I remember telling my supervisor, I said, I think I'm depressed. I said, I think I'm depressed because I said, I come in here every day and I see these people. I said, and they're passing away. They don't have a memory. I've watched these people not remember people, their kids, their family members. Like, I've saw the change on the faces from when they would remember and when they would go to not remembering, and how that looked. It was like looking at two different people. And I remember telling her, like, I don't want to be like these people. I don't want to do this. I can't do this. It's too much for me. Da, da, da. And I broke down. I couldn't stop crying. I was uncontrollably crying. I think I probably cried for a good 15, 20 minutes before I was able to calm down. And she sent me home. She said, Teresa, go to your doctor and tell your doctor that you think you may be depressed. She said, because if you are, you need help. And y'all, that's what I did. I drove to my doctor. I was calling her while I was on my way, and I said, hey, can I come in and see you? You know, because I'm having a hard day. And I said, I think I'm depressed or something. I was like, I don't know. I'm not myself, and I know it. And she was like, sure, come in. I'll squeeze you in. And so I get there, and she looks at me and she goes, I've never seen you like this before. And of course, I started crying. Yeah, I was crying uncontrollably. Oh my God, I was crying so much that she had to leave me in a room for about 5 minutes because I couldn't calm down. And when she came back in, she told me, she said, I think you might be depressed. And so she said, I'm going to ask you some questions. And she said, I want you to answer me honestly. And she was like, how have your week been? I said, for the last couple of weeks, I've been crying uncontrollably. I have not been able to stop crying. I've been crying over little things. I was like, little things like I'm driving, I get stuck in traffic, and I just started crying. Like, why me? Why am I stuck here? Um, why is traffic backed up? Like, yo, I could not, I couldn't function. I don't know how I was being a parent at this point because I really don't. And it still bothers me to talk about it. I'm still a little sensitive about it. Um, I have my days where I still cry. Um, I can remember stuff and cry about it, and then I be done with it. Like, I've learned how to move on. And so I get to the doctor. She asked me these questions, right? And I told her, I was like, I haven't really had a good couple of weeks. And she was like, what do you do for a living? I was like, I work in memory care. And she was like, oh. And she goes, that's a really hard field to be in when you have a situation going on. I was like, I don't have a situation going on. And she was like, something's going on with you and you're hiding it. She said, I'm going to ask you a few more questions. She said, and I'll tell you what my professional suggestions will be. And I was like, okay. So usually when I go to the doctor, I talk about my garden, show her my pictures, and we have a good time. Like, we laugh. She tell me what I need to do. I do it. And I think when I first started going to this doctor, I was going because I was getting a Depo-Provera shot. And so I was going in there to get my Depo-Provera shot every 3 months. And so, of course, I had pictures to show her of my garden and stuff. And she loved it. She was an African woman. She absolutely loved it, and I liked it. Any time I could sit and talk about my garden to somebody, I would sit and talk about my garden. That is my pride. Okay, like I grew that from Z, and it was something to be proud of. And you couldn't tell me anything different. Like, I don't care how bad my soil look. I don't care if I had stuff dying. I don't care about the people who tell me I was a greedy gardener and taking everything from Mother Nature and all this other good stuff they would say. My garden was something I did by myself. I grew stuff in there, and so yeah, I um I enjoyed it. But after we got done talking, she said, I'm going to send you to this psychiatrist. She said, but I need to make a phone call because I'm going to send you over there now. I was like, okay. So, never thought that I would have to go see a psychiatrist. And so, she came in, she told me, she said, hey, I contacted the place, it's the address, it's the phone number. You know, if you get lost, call them, blah, 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 blah. And she comes back and she goes, I've known in your past you told me that you experienced some trauma. And she said, I think what is happening is something that you were traumatized about, or something that happened to you when you were younger, is spilling over now, and you've been sweeping it under the rug for all these years. And now there's no more room under that rug to put things, and things are starting to spill out. And she was like, and what you need to do is get help. You need to talk to somebody. You need to, seek some counseling. So I was like, okay. I went to the psychiatrist, y'all. Let me tell y'all, I was not happy with her, okay? We was in COVID, okay? Full blown COVID. And we had to wear face masks, which I used to hyperventilate all the time because I am a domestic violence survivor. I'm a survivor of domestic violence. And putting something like this triggered me. And if I couldn't see your face, that bothered me. I don't like clowns. I'm not scared of clowns. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to run when I see one. I'm not going to scream. I'm not going to freak out. But I will keep my eyes on him because I don't like clowns. Now, I grew up in Illinois, and I grew up around the time that John Wayne Gacy was dressing up, or whatever that man's name is, was dressing up like a clown in Illinois and driving around snatching them people. And so we were always taught, like, don't. We was taught to be scared of shit. Okay, those little vans, I call them church vans with no windows. They was the church vans that didn't have windows. And so that's what I would call them. That's what they used to kidnap people in back then. I don't know what they kidnap you in Benz and Mercedes now. So shit, you don't know what the hell they're going to snatch you up in. But, yeah. So, for a long time, and still right now today, if I see a van like that driving past me and they driving slow, I'm speeding up. Okay? I'm going to take off running and do something. I don't trust it. But I'm not afraid of clowns. I just don't like, I don't like people who wear heavy makeup either. Because I like to know what you look like. I want to be able to describe you to a T. So you see how I have all these acne scars on my face? I want to be able to tell the police she got 5 or 6, 7 acne scars on her left jaw. She got a mole on right above her right eyebrow. She got a cleft lip, whatever. I want to be able to just to describe you, not just because I don't know. I really don't even know why I'm like that. To be honest, I just like to be able to see people. And this psychiatrist was a Muslim. And she wasn't a regular Muslim that just wore the head wrap and stuff. She was the one that they covered everything except their eyes. Okay? And so I told her, I said, I know, like, in your culture, that you, a man can't see you like that. And I could be wrong. Maybe a woman you don't know not supposed to see you without it either. But I told her, I said I wasn't comfortable. This was the first day. I said, I'm not comfortable with your face mask. I said, I understand. Now, mind you, the 6 feet rule was already in place by this time. So she was at her desk, probably about 10 feet away from me, and I was on a couch. So even if she had pulled it down just for a little bit and put on a regular little face mask, I would have been okay with that. But she didn't want to do that. She told me no, it was against her culture. And she said, that's not why I'm there. And so um, I sat with my back like halfway turned towards her because I couldn't really look at her. And I'm not one of them people that say Muslims, I don't blame the Muslims for the September 11th. I don't. I just want to be able to look at you and see what you look like. Okay. As y'all can see, I don't wear a whole lot of makeup. I'm a natural girl. I like naturalness. I like nature, stuff like that. So, but she wrote me a prescription that day, and it was for Lexapro. I want to say she gave me about 15 milligrams or 20 milligrams, something like that. It was a small amount. And she said, take one tonight before you go to bed. She was like, I think I was taking it twice a day, maybe once a day. I don't know. Whatever the dosage was, I had to take it. And she said, you may have some side effects. These are the side effects, that's most common. And she said, give it 30 days before you start complaining about switching the meds. So I knew that these meds wasn't for me for the simple fact that she already knew that they was going to send me through hell. But she gave them to me anyway. Another little secret about me, I like QT slushies. And I like to mix the colors so they be an ugly brown color when it's melted, but they taste good. Anyway, so I went home, took the meds, did what she said do. A couple of weeks went by. Y'all, I was having stomach cramps. I started getting migraines. My appetite was like crazy. Some days I would be really hungry, and some days I wouldn't even want to look at food. I couldn't stand the smell of food. Like it was doing some stuff to me. But by this particular time, I didn't put it together to say that it was the medication. I thought I was sick. So the job started testing us for COVID. And by this time, we had to get tested every 7 days. If you got tested and you came back negative, you got tested again 7 days, came back negative, then I think you could wait 14 days. Something like that. It was a weird little pattern. So sticking this Q-tip up my nose was pissing me the fuck off, and it was driving me insane. But by this time, I didn't know what was causing my headaches, but they wouldn't go away. And so when I went back to the lady, now I was going to see her once a month. So I hadn't seen her like 3-4 weeks. A month go by, I see her. I go in. She still got the mask on. She still looking like this. So I was uncomfortable. I said the same kind of way. I didn't say nothing to her about her face. I told her, I said, hey, I think this medication is messing with me. I'm getting really bad stomach cramps. I said, I'm getting some headaches. I said, and I think I'm feeling sick a lot of the times. Like food is bothering me. So she said, okay, I'm gonna write you a prescription. This will help with the headaches. So I said, okay. Go put the prescription in. Now at night, I'm popping 2 pills. One that was supposed to be making me happy, and I wasn't happy. It was fucking with my emotions. I didn't know how to feel. And so Um, yeah, took that pill. 2 weeks into taking that pill, I started realizing that I started feeling nauseous. Like I wanted to throw up, but I couldn't throw up. But I had the urge to do it a lot. So I would find myself going to the bathroom to get ready to throw up, and then nothing would come up. That went on for a couple weeks. So now we at our third visit. I'm 3 months in, y'all. I get there, I tell her, I say, hey, I've been taking this pill every single day, like you said, do. I've been taking this headache pill, all this stuff. I said, but now I am getting really, really, really nauseous. I said, and I'm still having stomach cramps. She said, okay. Wrote me out a prescription. It said, this is going to make your stomach feel better. Y'all, I started Googling the medicine she was giving me. Um, she gave me Lexapro and Trazodone. I think it was Trazodone. And those two pills together is why my emotions was up and down. Trazodone is supposed to make you relax, I guess. What was it for? I don't know. But them two pills together, I don't even remember. One was supposed to make me happy. One should have relaxed me. Then I was on this little triangular pill that was supposed to not give me headaches. So I didn't get Trazodone till the fourth month. So I was on Lexapro, some headache medicine, and some kind of nausea pill that was going to make my stomach feel better. So I go back and I say, my feelings still be all over the place. I said, and if I forget to take that headache pill, I have migraines for days. Like they don't go away. I said, and on top of that, if I don't take that nausea medicine, my stomach do flips. And she said, okay, let me give you, she was like, I'm write you this prescription. So I told her, she gave me the Trazodone. I took Trazodone for probably about 2 weeks. That fifth month, when I went in there, I told her, I said, you've given me a pill to take every single time I've came in here. You did not one time ask me my progress. You didn't ask me what was traumatizing that got me to thinking the way I'm thinking. You didn't ask me anything to try to get me to talk. She said, that's not my job. My job is to prescribe you medication so you feel better so I can refer you to a therapist who can then talk to you. I told her, I said, well, this will be my last visit. I will not be back. She said, well, ma'am, you're on psychotropic meds. She said, make sure you take your meds every day, like clockwork. And she said, when you need a prescription filled, you will have to have a visit, a full visit, before I refill any prescriptions. I said, well, I guess I won't be getting no more meds. And I walked out. I went back to my doctor. I said, hey, seeing a psychiatrist is not working for me. I want to be able to talk about my stuff. I want to be able to cipher through some things. I want to be able to do some stuff, right? Like this can't be it. And she says, okay, let me see if I can find a therapist. She found this awesome therapist for me. Um, I don't know if she specialized in trauma, but she did a really good job with me, okay? And I really appreciate her. Still to this day, I appreciate her. Um, I told her, I said, hey, before we start, let me tell you a little bit about me. I am very good at manipulating people to get what I want. And when I say manipulate people to get what I want, I don't mean like I use people to get what I want in the real world. Like if there's something I don't want to talk about, I'm going to tell you what you want to hear so we can get this over with. Don't let me do that to you. I said, also, don't let me be afraid to not talk about certain things. And so I was like, hold me accountable, make me talk through those tough things because it's the only way I'm be able to get over this hump in my life. And she said, okay, and she told me a little bit about herself. She's from Louisiana. I love her. Louisiana's and me. I know I love the way they talk, but maybe me and the men don't get along. And so the very first thing we talked about was me growing up without my mom. And that was a really tough first day. That was a really tough first day. And that's when she told me. She said, I think you suffer from anxiety and a major depressive disorder. She said, from the notes from your doctor, and it's, I guess, like a little quiz they have you take to like determine your first steps or whatever, like to see if you are depressed or whatever. She sent it over to her, my results from the quiz, and like just my basic medical stuff. And I was diagnosed with anxiety and depression. And she asked me, was I on medication? And I told her no. I told her I stopped taking them pills because them pills was doing some stuff to me that I did not like and I did not want to deal with. And so, therefore, I stopped taking them. And she said, how do you feel? And I said, well, I'd rather talk through my things because I feel like talking will work better for me. And she said, no, like, do you feel suicidal? And I stopped for a second and I thought about it and I said, sometimes I do. And she said, what are your thoughts? I said, well, on my way to work, there's this little overpass on the, yeah, in Texas, people call the roads that you drive on really fast interstates. I call them expressways. But expressways here in Texas are tollways. In Chicago, where I'm from, the toll is the toll, the expressway is the expressway. But anyway, I was on the expressway. And I said, on this little overpass, I guess somebody hit the guard rail and it's been like knocked over for some time. And I said, every day I ride past there, I think I could just drive my car off this cliff and nobody never know. Every day. Every day. I thought that. And she said, have you ever tried to commit suicide? And I told her, yeah. Not at this age. But when I was a teenager, I did. And she said, we got a lot to talk about. And we talked. And we talked. And we talked. And we still talk. And baby, I'll tell you this much. I would take the non-medicated road over the medicated road any day. I ain't no doctor. Okay? Some people out here need medication. But I didn't feel that medication was meant for me. I didn't feel like that was going to work for me. Therefore, I didn't go that route. But if you need medication, or if you know that you suffer from anxiety or depression, or you got something going on and you just don't know what is going on, seek help. Seek help. And listen to them people. Because I could have crashed out, as they say nowadays. I could have crashed out. Because me cold turkey them psychotropic medications, it did a number on my brain. It did a number on me. And I didn't even know it was going on until people would say certain stuff, and then I'd be like, dang, yep, thought about that. Oh, yep, been through that, did that. So, yeah, I had my days, okay? And that's pretty much how I found out I had anxiety and depression. I went to work one day and I had all this uncontrollable crying, and I realized that I was hiding from myself for years. I was barricading all of those feelings and emotions that I had for years, all of the things that I never talked to people about, and the things that bothered me, I would let just keep going. Like, I had been in relationships where I was being cheated on. I wouldn't put up a fight. I would take you back. But I never called the other woman, didn't do anything. If she called your phone, I'd pick it up. But I wasn't doing all of that stuff. I'd tear up your damn car, stuff like that. But, or I paid somebody to do it, because back in my day, I didn't want to get my hands dirty because I was in and out of the court system all the time. And not for bad stuff. Just, I had people call DCFS on me because I wouldn't let them see my kids. Not their daddies. The dad's family called DCFS on me and said I was starving my kids. Well, my oldest son. And at the time, shit, he was like 20 pounds overweight. So for some reason or another, they would call so much. These people would have me be coming out to my house, and I'd be having to go to court. And I'm like, if y'all see the same person or these same little group of people calling in on me, making these accusations, why y'all not going over to their house and see what the hell they got going on? Because obviously they got something going on. If you think I'm starving a 2-year old or a 1 or 2 year old and they overweight, the doctors said they overweight because they eat too much, but you make a report and say that they starving, y'all need to be knocking at their door, because you got to be delusional, or your kids might be starving for you to say something like that. But yes, y'all, I suffer from anxiety and depression. And I have my days where I can be a people person. And I have my days where I absolutely do not give a fuck about other people, don't want them around me. I'd rather be by myself. I don't want to talk to nobody. I have my days. And I'm okay with that. And for some reason or another, I still find myself like, I don't know. Sometimes I think about certain stuff and I just uncontrollably cry about it. And then when I'm done crying, I pick my ass up and I go on about my day. Because one thing I learned in therapy was to address the feelings that I have or that I was having. Ask myself, why do I feel like this? Where are these feelings coming from? And do I have control over them? Can I stop this feeling from happening again? What can I do next time I feel this way? It basically was a reflection. And usually after I have a good cry, I'm fine anyway. Like, I'm okay. Just want to get that out of my system. And I don't like to cry in front of people because I don't like people to ask me, are you okay? I feel like when people ask you, are you okay? You cry more. Don't ask me, am I okay? No, I'm not okay. And I'm not against telling people that I'm not okay. If I'm not having a good day, I'll tell you I'm not having a good day. Um, I don't take stuff out on people anymore either. So yeah, but I am living through anxiety and depression. And like I said, I'm no doctor, I'm no psychiatrist, and I'm no therapist. Not for this kind of stuff anyway. If your behavior was jacked up or your kids' behavior was jacked up, I could probably get you in line on that. But not when it comes to mental things, okay? So that concludes my TED Talk, Tea Talk. That's what we're going to call it, Tea Talks. Tea Talk conversations. Yeah, I have anxiety and I have depression. And that is also a part of the reason why I struggle with my weight. Because of my anxiety and depression, when I am depressed, I tend to eat. My dog just jumped up out her bed and ran and then came back to her bed. I don't know what the world she was doing. But okay. In the real life, you know. I don't know if y'all noticed, but I don't like to really edit my videos. No, thank you. That's too much work. I feel like if you want to watch something that look like a movie, you're gonna have to go to the more experienced page because it ain't over here. I'm gonna give you the raw every single time. Okay. I may pause my videos because I need to get my shit together, but I don't cut nothing. When y'all see them videos, when I say wait, or when I say hold on, or I'll be right back, I literally press the pause on the video, do what I need to do, and press play again. I don't cut nothing out. Y'all see everything. But yeah. So again, uh y'all got some stuff going on in y'all life where y'all dealing with some stuff. I recommend y'all talk to a therapist. A therapist can help you navigate your thoughts so that you can try and talk your way through them and come up with solutions on your own versus other people telling you what to do. Because that's another thing. I'm not saying you can't tell me what to do, but there's certain things about me that I feel like you shouldn't tell me to do. Okay? I ain't gonna say what them things are. Cause I like to be my own person. I don't like people dictating. That's what I don't like. Don't dictate what I should do, what I shouldn't do, how I should be living my life, why I'm not doing certain things. Don't do that because I don't like it. I don't like it. But yeah, I guess I better let y'all go, huh? That's how y'all know I be bored. I ain't got no friends either. If y'all think I got a lot of friends, I know a lot of people, but I do not have a lot of friends. Okay? People y'all see me with be family members. You got no friends. I'm a loner. I'm a popular loner. Okay. Anyway, good night. Love, peace, and sanity.